Family, what's going on? You're in for a great show today. Today's Thursday, so you know what that means. Today is Law Talk with Attorney Fred Jones. You're in for an amazing episode today here on Speaker Success in the Morning. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, successors? All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to Speak Your Success in the Morning. I'm your host, Jonathan Jones, and this is Speak Your Success in the Morning with Jonathan Jones and producer Britt. Producer Britt is out this week, but we're going to rock it out. We're going to keep on rolling, And currently we're 3 minutes after the hour. But y'all, today is Thursday, and it's time for Law Talk. And I got with my dad, Attorney Fred Jones, and I said, Dad, what do you want to talk about today? I said, Dad, what's on your heart? He said, John, we need to talk about intellectual property. We need to talk about IP. We need to make sure that people understand what this means, not only for them, but for their life, for their livelihood, and for their family. So, y'all, we're going to get into that. We're going to dive in and make sure that we have a clear understanding on what is intellectual property. What does that word really mean? And what is that? But before we get into diving in, talking about intellectual property, today on Straight from the Source, I wanted to start a little bit different, okay? I wanted to start it with some song lyrics today before we get into our text. And the way that the way that this song goes, I'm sure you'll be familiar with it as I began to go in, as I began to break it down. But the way that this particular song goes, it says, I want to make a change for the first time in my life. Okay. I want to make a change. And I'm going to skip down. It says, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make a change, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. So if you're not familiar, I hope that you are. But if you're not familiar, that's Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson. And understanding that the only way that things will get better on this side is first by making a change. But we first have to look at ourselves, and we have to look at the man in the mirror. And today we're going to start in the book of James chapter 1, verse 2, and I'm going to go down to verse 4. And I know I covered this not too long ago, but I wanted to rehash it because there's something I want to pull out here in this text. So in the text, it says, consider it all joy, my brothers and sisters, when you encounter various trials, right? And the reason why I'm talking about James today, the book of James, is because I was on a Bible study last night, and as I began to hear brother Gabriel Williams break down this text, and he began to say, the man has to take off the mask. The man has to take off the mask. And then one of the other gentlemen said, if you look in the mirror is going to read you. If you look in the mirror, it's going to read you. It's going to be honest. It's going to tell you where you're coming up short. It's going to tell you where you're missing. So let's get back into the text. It says, consider it all joy, my brothers and sisters, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. And let endurance have its perfect result, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. Right? So just envision a piece of metal that's warped. And then you would see those guys who would take that metal and then, they would dip it down, they would heat it up and begin to bang it out until it's straight. So it's going to be perfect and complete to where there will be nothing lacking. Then in verse 5, it says, but if any of you lacks wisdom, ask ask God, who gives to all generously and without reproach, and it will be given to him. but you must ask without doubting. For the one who doubts is like the surf of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. So here's the deal. Here's the deal, right? When challenges come up, when struggles come up, when things make us worry and they present certain areas in our lives to where we may feel overwhelmed, we might feel downtrodden, we might even feel just a little bit of adversity. I want you to know and look in the mirror, right? Because the first thing that we must do, the first thing we must do, if we're really serious about looking at the man in the mirror and really making a change, the first thing that we have to do is we have to assess where we currently are, right? Assess where we currently are. If you're tuning in live with us right now, somebody go ahead, write in the chat for me, right? Assess. Assess. We have to see where we are first so that we can know where we're trying to go, right? Looking at the man in the mirror, and we have to first know, well, hey, just like if we're talking about working out, right? We have to know that, hey, I haven't been to the gym lately, but I want to be able to walk for 5 minutes, right? We have to make that we have to make that assessment on the front end. Okay. And then we also need to get with the level of accountability. Because there's going to be, just like it says in verse 2, there's going to be trials that come. And these trials are going to help test, and test. It says in verse 3, knowing that the testing of your faith will produce endurance. So without you being tested, you're not going to be able to grow. John, how do we prepare for tests? Accountability. John, how do we prepare for tests? You make proper preparations on the front end to be proactive instead of reactive. I'll stay with the analogy of working out. If you know that it's a struggle for you to go and work out, what if you got an accountability partner that you can call or that you can text and let them know, I don't feel like working out today. And they're like, you know what? I get that, but let's go work out together. Right? So now we have the ability to where when that test comes to where we don't feel like doing what we need to do, then our partner, they're helping us to ultimately get us to the goal that we desire. Right? So in the text, it says, knowing that the testing of your faith will produce endurance. Because at the end of the day, if your faith is never stretched, then your faith will never grow. If your faith is never challenged, if you never are in the place, in the position to where you get to choose Jesus or you get to choose whatever your flesh wants to do, then you won't be able to further that stamina and to further that discipline. And then verse 4, it says, let endurance have its perfect result, that you may be perfect and complete. Perfect and complete. We know that on this side of heaven, we won't see perfection. God didn't lay it out like that for us. If some of us saw perfection on this side of earth, then why would I want to go to heaven? I'd be living the dream down here. But it says, you will be lacking nothing. And the only way that we can get to the position of lacking nothing is by going through the test. Okay? Going through the test. So like I said before, we have to assess where we are. We have to add accountability. And then from that point, we got to put our head down and we have to go at it like there's no tomorrow. Okay, so family, be encouraged today. I want you just to consider what that means for you in your life. Like, what's the area that you want to grow? Maybe you want to grow in your faith. So maybe now you're gonna begin to say, okay, God, you've put it on my heart to do X. I'm scared to do X. When I've done X before in the past, I've come up short. But God, I'm gonna lean in and I'm gonna seek your guidance to see how X can be accomplished in the future. Right? So now this is going to force you to do something different than what you've done before. Maybe that might be you're going to pray a little bit more. Maybe that might be you're going to read your text a little bit more. So now you're not just solely relying on yourself. Yeah, we're talking about the man in the mirror. We're not solely relying on ourselves, but we're relying on God to change us by getting into his word, by submitting these requests to him. The Bible says, cast all your cares onto the Lord. Cast all your burdens, all your worry. Give it to God. Because at the end of the day, he's the only one that can do anything about it. Family, that has been straight from the source. I'm Jonathan Jones, and if you're enjoying this content, I would encourage you to go and hit that thumbs up button so that YouTube knows that you're enjoying this content and you're rocking with us here on Speaker Success in the Morning. And also, feel free to drop a comment, just so we know, just so we know that helped you, that blessed you, that encouraged you. And then also subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Family, we're about to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back with more Speaker Success in the Morning. And we're going to be diving in with attorney Fred Jones. Talk a little bit about Law Talk this morning. Intellectual property conversation. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back with more Speaker Success in the Morning. Looking for timeless pieces that make a statement? Discover the Jewelry Department, where elegance meets craftsmanship. Owned by Miguel Contreras and located at 13505 Mumford Place, Suite 103 in Dallas, the Jewelry Department is your destination for stunning, one-of-a-kind pieces designed to elevate your style. From classic designs to modern trends, we offer a curated selection that reflects sophistication and artistry. Because we believe your jewelry should be just as unique as you are. Visit us today at the Jewelry Department, where every piece tells a story. And let us help you find the perfect piece that speaks to yours. The Jewelry Department, elevating your look with elegance and style. Find us at 13505 Mumford Place, Suite 103 in Dallas. All right, family. Welcome back to Speaker Success in the Morning. Welcome back. We have the one and only attorney Fred Jones, often imitated, never duplicated. Okay, we have the good doctor in the house. Welcome to the show, Dad. Dad who represents FredJonesLaw.com. Okay, helping people. Dad, you've been helping people for years. Really protect their legacy, really protect their livelihood, and really help people protect that intellectual property. How you doing this morning?
Since 1991, on top, going higher. Life is good. Life is great. Glad to be here with you.
That's good. I like that red shirt. You know, red's my favorite color, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah, red's my favorite color. Yeah.
Work.
Okay,
You know my favorite color is, huh?
What's that?
Green garden, green grass, green vegetables.
Okay. Well, I mean, I take some green vegetables. I also take some green cash. I'm not bad about either.
It's not bad. It's a good relationship with that. Doesn't hurt anything.
Man, yeah. So what does Dave Ramsey say? You gotta do what many people won't do now, so that you can be able to do what you want to do later. How's he say that? I know you
do what many people won't do now, so that you can do what you want to do later. Something to that effect. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, Dad. So I wanna get in here today, and I want to talk about intellectual property, because I know today's Thursday Law Talk, and the term IP, or intellectual property, gets thrown around, tossed around. Can you inform us what does intellectual property mean?
Intellectual property very simply means property of the mind and not property of the hands. We use our hands to build, to grow, and to create. We use our minds the same way, to build, grow, and create. The difference is what's in our mind must be put in a fixed form.
Mm-hmm.
And fix is a legal term in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8 of the Constitution. Fix simply means put it in writing, put it in a photo, put it in a recording, put it in some type of digital content outside of the mind. So you can do everything with intellectual property that you can do with real property. Intellectual property, property of the mind and not property of the hands.
Okay. So go ahead. What you got?
There are 4 categories of intellectual property that people get confused. They get confused over these 4 categories of intellectual property. There's 4 main categories.
Talk to us.
Copyright, trademark, trade secrets, and patents. We
Okay.
copyright our ideas, our writings, our music. That's all copyright. That's literary intellectual property. We trademark our brands, our business. That's your mark in trade.
Mm-hmm.
And we patent our inventions. We patent things that we invent, a door hanger, a car armrest, a type of cup. We patent things, but we copyright our ideas and we trademark our brands and our businesses. Those are the 4 categories of intellectual property. And trade secrets is just what it says, trade secrets. It's the secrets of your trade.
So would that be when people talk about like having a proprietary recipe or having a proprietary, and what does proprietary even mean? Because I don't know.
Proprietary, exclusive,
Mm.
signature,
Okay.
mine only, proprietary. It's your unique thing. It's
Mm.
your thumbprint.
Okay.
It belongs to
Proprietary.
you.
I got it. Okay. I
Signature.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So with intellectual property, you said there's 4 different types, and people typically get it confused. As you have been doing this work with clients since 1991,
Mm-hmm.
what have you seen is one of the biggest challenges that some of your what has been the most often topic or struggle that challenge that clients have brought to you around intellectual property? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Not understanding what it is.
Mm.
They just don't get it. Authors and writers. I had a call yesterday from an 82-year-old lady who said, I'm not putting up any of my books on this certain platform because I don't get any royalties. I don't get paid. Her problem was not the platform. Her
Mm.
problem was she thought she self-published. She hired a coach and named that coach her publisher.
Oh.
When you name someone else your publisher, then the royalties and so forth goes to the publisher. It's not going to go to the author. And then they put their name up on this platform as the publisher. Then they had the publisher name. Then when she picked up the phone and tried to get in touch with them, she couldn't. She had nobody to talk to. She didn't talk to anybody. They wouldn't call her back. And now they
Oh.
got their publishing name on their book, on her book. And she's like, I'm not getting any royalties. I'm not getting any reports. What's going on? You just named somebody else as your publisher, paid them $5,000. You paid $5,000 to give away your intellectual property for the rest of your life. Some of
Oh.
the dumbest stuff I see people do all the time. They don't know the difference between copyright, the role of the publisher, and the role of the author,
Mm.
and the role of the writer. Had a guy one time come to me and say, my ghostwriter is my co-author. I said, what? He said, my ghostwriter is my co-author. I said, say that again. I said, sir, how in the world can your ghostwriter be your co-author? They get these roles mixed all up, John, and they don't understand the power of copyright. Ask Dolly Parton how powerful is copyright.
Mm.
Ask any of the writers of Motown how important copyright is. And then we get out here and we listen to, you ask what's the biggest problem? I'll give you another biggest problem. This is
Okay.
probably the
Talk
biggest
to
problem.
me.
The most expensive thing you'll ever pay is attention to the wrong people.
Mm.
We take legal advice from non-lawyers. We listen to the wrong people. We go and we get coaching from somebody who has no legal background. We try to cut corners on the legal. We call people up and want to discuss intellectual property. And here's what we say. I just want to pick your brain. Well, you can't pick my brain. My brain is not a bunch of berries or a bunch of peas or something in the farm that you go pick. You don't pick somebody's brain. That's intellectual property. You don't go to Walmart and just pick what you want from Walmart and walk out the door. You don't go to the grocery store and just pick what you want to get and walk out the door. We don't understand intellectual property. You know what? And I know I'm kind of going on and on. I'll back up. Intellectual property falls into the category kind of like mental health. You ever
Mm.
tried to explain mental health to somebody when they it's more popular now, and people have got the concept now. It's a little bit more grounded. But when it first came out, people did not understand mental health. Why don't they just get over it? They just need to do this and they just need to do that. Well, you wouldn't tell somebody that with a broke leg. You wouldn't tell somebody that who just cut their arm and they're bleeding. You'd say, let's get something to put on here. Let's help this out. It's the same way with intellectual property. It's oftentimes just misunderstood. I kind of got fired up on that, John.
I mean, I think there's a conversation that needs to be had because people are losing livelihood and people are losing, their not like what we talked about with proprietary trade secrets and things that they've created over time. And now, now's the time to where people are getting taken advantage of, and this is not a good look at all. Right, because they're getting taken advantage of, and they're losing. Go ahead.
Kirk Franklin was talking to Tyler Perry.
Kirk. Yeah. And he was talking to Tyler Perry on his later show, the Den of Kings. Go ahead.
And he was saying how his first songs that he wrote, his most popular song that he wrote, he said he didn't understand his publishing. He said from X number of years, for a long period of time, he didn't understand publishing. And he gave up all his publishing. And Tyler was just blown away that Kirk Franklin didn't understand publishing. So many people self-publish and they don't understand it. It's one of the most powerful things you can do is to self-publish. You are your publisher. You are the person in control. And if you don't understand your publishing and understand the intellectual property aspects that's connected to that, you're going to give it away and you're going to be sitting back one day talking about, oh, them white folk took our stuff. You need to quit lying on them white folk. They ain't take your stuff. You gave it away.
Okay, so look, you walk right into the topic. So I sent you over a clip, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull up this image as we're talking about people not owning their own intellectual property. So I want to pull this up here, and now on the screen, what you should see for our audio listeners. So Taylor Swift went on to the New Heights podcast, which is hosted by Travis Kelce and by his brother Jason Kelce. And their podcast is by far, one of the top sports podcasts out there. However, Taylor Swift came on and she began to talk about ownership of her music. She said, "I don't want to be in a partnership. I don't want 30% of it. I want all of it." Okay? And I'm actually gonna play a little bit of this audio because I want us to really hear what Taylor Swift says when she breaks down as she's explaining what it means to have ownership of her masters. So let me go ahead and break this down right here.
So you wrote these songs, you sang these songs.
Okay, here we go.
I guess, how does music ownership, this is so crazy to me. So you wrote these songs, you sang these songs, you put everything into them. And don't get me wrong, there's publishing companies, people that support artists out there, but how does ownership of music even work? Like when you recorded these songs when you were 16, right? Is that like
the singer gets it down to us 95%?
The singer gets a certain portion. The artist gets or the songwriter gets a certain portion, and then the publishing company gets a certain portion.
Okay, so that's a great question, and there's two main categories that we're talking about here.
Go ahead.
So master recordings is the actual recording.
Yes.
It's the actual vocal, band, production, mixing, mastering, that actual thing.
Yes.
Mine also included my album artwork, my music videos, everything that went along with any era of music that I had done for my first 6 albums.
I guess, how does music own every era?
So then there's another category, which is publishing.
Yes.
I own my publishing.
This is the part.
Which is why, I have control over, if my song is used in a film, I wanted them to use Taylor's version instead of the original version, the songwriter, can decide that.
Got it. Okay.
And so it's like, I've always been very lucky because my publishing was protected. A lot of artists have their publishing sold away from them, or they sell their publishing.
You want to say something here, Dad?
There it is right there. Okay, that's a part of it. I could jump in. You can keep going.
Yeah. No. Keep. No. Go ahead. Go ahead. You can speak now.
A lot of
Please.
artists lose their publishing. You see, the publisher has more control than the creator. Artists gives publishers a license to use. Better yet, write this word down. All of you that are listening in the comments. The word is exploit. And oftentimes when we hear that word, we think it's a bad word. Exploit is the legal principle that an artist gives to the publisher. And to exploit the product means to amplify it, to magnify it, make it as big as you can. It's a good term if you got a good publisher. But if you control your own publishing, which many artists do today, you're in a stronger position and you're not giving up 70%, 30%, 40% of your publishing to somebody else. She here, Taylor, said she got control of her publishing. Kirk Franklin did not have control of his publishing. And many artists today don't have control of their publishing. You know why? They don't understand the industry. They don't understand how the game is played. And if you don't understand how the game is played and you wake up in the fourth quarter, then 3 quarters are gone and you'll never go back. The writer of Parliament, Funkadelic, Flashlight, that song, the guy, Atomic Dog and all that, George, I can't think of his name right now, George Clinton. George Clinton. He just filed a $100 million lawsuit over his copyright, over his songs that he wrote. Just like what she's saying, she wrote and performed these songs at 16 years old. What 16-year-old understands publishing? They don't understand it. It's a very complicated and complex industry. And so many book writers and artists today are freely giving away their intellectual property that could be bringing residuals for their family for the rest of their lives. It's time to wise up. It's time to be smart and protect our intellect. Protect your intellect. And that's what she's done. And she's protected her creativity. All right, John, you got to maintain your publishing.
Man, that's good. And then I'm gonna roll right here to this other image right here where it says Taylor Swift's breakdown on the why it's important to own her masters. She said, if I never would have been able to buy back my music, because she just like she said earlier, she didn't initially own her publishing. Right. So she said, if I wasn't able to buy back my music one day, someone else would be leaving all my music from my first 6 albums to their kids in their will.
Dolly Parton is still on the charts right now. Matter of fact, she's got a concert coming up in Vegas. Dolly's probably about 80-something. She recently lost her husband. But Dolly wrote the song, I Will Always Love You. And she wrote it to Porter Wagner. Dolly and Porter, back in the 60s or the 50s, were a duet in country western music. And but Dolly was doing all the writing. Porter was doing the managing. Who was going to be going to the bank? Porter was going to the bank. And Dolly was like, this ain't working for me. This ain't working for me. And she wrote a song to it. Our deepest pain point is our highest paying point. So when you share your pain, you make your pain pay you back. Oftentimes, music is embedded with pain. But at the same time, the pain is the source of your property. And that property is your intellectual property. Make your pain pay you back by understanding publishing.
My goodness. Dad, you over there cooking right now. You cooking. And y'all hanging out with us this morning. We're currently 31 minutes after the hour. If y'all are enjoying this content, go ahead and hit that thumbs up so we know that you're rocking with us. And also feel free to drop some questions in the chat. If you have questions about intellectual property, please go ahead and drop your questions in the chat so that we can address those. And we have Attorney Fred Jones here.
And share them out. Share out this broadcast.
Most definitely. Share this broadcast with a friend so that we can know. So that they can know and we can be informed as a people, as the community. Dad, as we're talking about,
you can help them. They'll be glad that they learn this information.
My goodness! Oh yeah, without a doubt,
Entertain and empower.
Yeah. That's right. You got it. 3 E's. You got it. So, Dad, one thing that So when we just to make it clear, so when we talk about intellectual property, here in this case, we're talking about songs, but also in terms of intellectual property, can that also could that also be considered when we talk about podcast content or content that people are putting on social media? What are we? Let's address that.
Oh, come on now, bring it on. We're gonna bring this down so the goats can get it. We're gonna hook this up so the goats can get it. You know why they say that, huh, John?
Why is that?
Goats eat closer to the ground than sheep. Goats eat goats almost eat the dirt. Okay, so when we talk about intellectual property, we're talking about putting things that are in your mind into a fixed form. And when we say fixed, I want everybody to write this down. I want you to write this down. Write the word fixed down, okay? Now go chat GPT the word fixed and put in there intellectual property. What does fixed mean? Okay, now go do that. That's your homework. Okay, y'all got it? You're going to do it in the comments. Are y'all going to do it? Write the word fix down and then go into Chat GPT or whatever, Grok or whatever platform you're using, Gemini, Claude, and say, what does fix mean in the area of intellectual property? Okay, so what is intellectual property? Is this podcast intellectual property? You bet it is. Why? Because it's the thoughts from your mind, Jonathan, being recorded in a fixed form. Okay, is your book intellectual property? You bet it is. Is your poem an intellectual property? You bet it is. Is that video you're shooting intellectual property? You bet it is, because it's all those things being, is that photo that you just took intellectual property? You better believe it is. All of those things are intellectual property. Is the writing you create intellectual property? Yes. Is the writing that you create in ChatGPT and Lumina and Gemini and all these other platforms, is that intellectual property? Yes, it is. But the question is, how do you get to own it exclusively? That's the question. How do you get to own it exclusively? And that's the slippery slope. And that's where you're going to want to get good counsel and get somebody to help you understand how you protect your intellect when you're mixing it with AI and ChatGPT and all the all the platforms that are out there.
Wow. Yeah, because there are so many platforms and people. I've seen the debate. I've seen the people have the conversations. The people go back and forth. If I write a book or I put my information into ChatGPT, is ChatGPT the owner of my content now? Am I the owner of my content now? Who owns it?
Phone Fred first.
Phone Fred first. FredJonesLaw.com, people. FredJonesLaw.com. All right. FredJonesLaw.com. Dad, okay, so with you having worked with these clients, and like we said, we talked about intellectual property, and we talked about one of the biggest challenges. What has been one of your biggest success stories with your clients around intellectual property?
Ooh, just helping them own it. Dr. Brenda Stratton. I mean, her video is on my YouTube channel. She had published her book, and this lady has traveled the world over. The world over. I mean, she's been in more than 35 to 50 countries, and she was a teacher and a great communicator. She published this book, Lord, Deliver Me from Me: How to Stop Being Your Own Worst Enemy. And she realized that some other company had labeled themselves as the publisher of her book. And she came to me and she said, I want my intellectual property. I want to own my intellectual property. And we went back to that company, asked them for, well, we did the legal work to make our request to the previous company. And then we came back and were able to republish that book under her own brand and her own name, made it a bestseller, and she's been a happy camper ever since. That's just one of the individuals who was able to recover their intellectual property.
Okay, so she was able to recover her intellectual property, but so one, that's a massive feat, right? Because there's a lot of people, just like the example you used earlier. You said there was a young lady that was calling the individual who's listed as a publisher, and they were answering the phone, right? Couldn't get a hold of them. So as book sales are coming through, and maybe corporations are online ordering hundreds of books, ordering them by the boatloads, and now this person can't even get somebody on the phone to where they can retain those proceeds. That's major. Second part that I want to ask is, so now that she does own that intellectual property, or she's retained ownership, what does that mean for the future of that book? Like, how long does how long can she continue to get proceeds? And can you talk a little bit about that? Because I know that's a big thing.
Intellectual property, when you copyright a book, your copyright is good for the life of the author plus 50 years. In some jurisdictions, it might be 70 years. But it's for the life of the author plus 50 years. For the life of the last living author, if there are multiple authors. For the life of the last living author, if there are multiple authors, plus 50 to 70 years. That's copyright registration. Trademark, you got to renew that trademark every 5 years. Every 5 years, your mark got to be renewed, else it becomes abandoned. Okay. Now, for its copyright, once you own the copyright, you can do everything with your book that you can do with your car or your house. You can sell it, you can lease it, you can will it, you can give it away, or you can do a partnership with it. When you own the copyright, if somebody wants to use your content in a movie, in some type of screenplay or television program, you can be paid for that. When you own the copyright, if somebody want to make a movie based on your book and the play and the movie come out looking like all the content in your book, and if you own the copyright, guess what? And this is a copyright registration, certificate of registration right there. You see that right there? That's a certificate of registration. If you own that and have the certificate of registration, guess what you can do? You can file a cease and desist. You can tell somebody to take something down. If you got this letter right here, and if somebody's copying your material from your book, if you send that to Instagram or Facebook, or anytime you put something up on Facebook, now they're saying running a copyright registration test. You ever seen that? When you put up, it looks for, you say running a copyright registration. With AI scraping the web the way it is and all the algorithms out there, now more than ever, you're going to have to copyright your stuff if you want any level of proprietorship or exclusivity. Okay, so what does it mean when you register your copyright? It means you can file a lawsuit against anybody who infringes upon that right, and you can ask them to cease and desist, and you are the certified owner of it. So registering your copyright is very, very important.
Okay. And then to your point, what you just said though, as you register the copyright, you should receive a certification, because I know we're in a, I don't want to say season, but we're in a time now where scamming, or at least it seems this way based on social media, where scamming is at an all-time high. So when you register something, when you register for a copyright, you should receive a certificate following that registration.
That makes it official right there. That's the highest level. Okay. That's the highest level. And you don't want to fumble around on that. A lot of people try to do that on their own, and they try to figure it all out on their own. Most expensive thing you'll ever pay is attention to the wrong people. Get some legal help. Get somebody to help you. If your book, brand, or business is worth investing in, if you're paying $5, $10, $15, $20, $50,000 for a coach or somebody to help you with your business, $100,000, get all that legitimized so that when stuff hit the fan, you got some evidence to go to fight with. You don't have to be running around talking about, oh, they copied me. People are going to copy. Let me say that again. People are going to copy. You didn't hear me. People are going to copy. Okay? If your stuff is good, they're going to copy. And they're not going to ask you for permission for it. But if they don't ask you and you got a certificate of registration, then you got something to stop them.
Where they say copying is the highest form of flattery.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah. That's one of the highest form of flattery. Family, we're 41 minutes after the hour right now here on Speaker Success in the morning. And Dad, man, this has been good. You know, talking a little bit about IP and what is there, what in terms of IP, what is there that people don't consider, or questions that people don't ask that they should when you're sitting there talking with an attorney? What's the question that somebody should ask that they probably don't consider?
Excellent. What can you help me take an inventory of all of my intellectual property? They very rarely take inventory of all of their intellectual property. Your course is intellectual property. Your website is intellectual property. Your systems are intellectual property. All the content you post on social media is intellectual property. Most people think they're giving it away just because they post it on social media. That is not true, my friend. You didn't
Say
give.
that again. Say that again. Say that again, Dad. Wait a minute. Say it again.
Yeah, yeah, I will. Most people think that you're giving away your intellectual property when you post it on social media or when you put it out to the public on a social media platform. You are not giving away your social media. You are giving Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and all these other platforms a license. I'll say it
Elaborate.
again, a license.
Elaborate on the
You're giving
license.
them permission to use your content. You're not waiving that unless in the terms of a use, they say all content posted belongs to us. But most platforms are not going to say that. If the platform said that, very few people would be on that platform. The reason Facebook has all us posting this stuff is because we give Facebook a license to use. And we agree to operate in accordance with Facebook's terms and conditions. The moment you don't, you're booted off. Okay? And a license to use is not ownership. A license to use is permission. If I give you the keys to my car and say, John, you can use my car tonight, you know that you're to bring the car back. You know that I didn't give you a title to the car. I didn't give you ownership to my car just because I gave you the keys to use it. It's the same thing on social media. Most people think that they're giving their stuff away when they're not. I hear people say, well, I can't tell anybody what this idea is. I'm not going to share this with somebody. Watch this. That's a big mistake. Can I tell you why that's a big mistake?
Break it down like a shotgun.
Because you have not documented that idea. You have not documented that thought. So oftentimes when people are thinking about trademark, they're like, I can't share anybody my trademark. This is my trademark. This is my secret. I was talking to someone yesterday and they were like, I got this idea and I haven't seen this idea anywhere. And nobody else I don't think has this idea. Well, the first problem with that statement is, are you telling me that you know all 8.5 billion people in the world? Are you telling me that you know what all 8.5 billion people are thinking? When you say ain't nobody else got that idea, how the heck you know that? You don't know that. You don't know what's in the mind of those 8.5 billion other people that are in the world. So the best thing you can do that most people will not do because they are afraid is to put the concept out there and start using it. And first to use can trump first to register or first to record. Can. I'm not giving legal advice here, but it's first to use. Use it in commerce, identify your name with it, and continue to use it, and then register, trademark, brand, protect it after it's proven, and you're on your way. See, I can say I first heard the word intellectual property in 1991. I've been saying that since 1991.
Man, that's good though. That's good because Dad, I can't tell you because I know just as I have intake calls for people that want to start their podcast, want to host their show, want to build out their platform, want to be paid speaker, just like you have calls helping people, book, brand, business, protect their intellectual property on that side. And people are, I can't tell anybody this. I can't tell anybody this. And I'm like, come on. But here's the other part. Okay, say you don't tell anybody, then you're really not going to do nothing with it. Right? Because people, I mean, even if you do tell me, you still might not do nothing with it. So it's just amazing. Like, I mean, I'm all for it. And I know you're the worthologist. So yes, we have value. There's value in our voice and it's unlimited. But still, some of us we high on the hog, Dad. We just real high off ourselves sometimes. And then we don't even do the required action that backs it up.
I mean, John, you say how on the hog. Some of it is just not knowing. I mean, it's That's just great. They don't know. They don't know. And they don't know. And you don't know what you don't know. And what you don't know is costing you. And then when you're talking to, I have people call me and talk to me. I'm an attorney. If they think that I want to steal their idea, they don't even know what it means to be an attorney. If you're talking to an attorney and you can't trust them, you need to go talk to somebody else. There are laws and ethics in the legal profession. They'll strip your bar card in a minute if you're doing something to harm or hurt a client or you violate a rule of ethics. Okay. But what do you look like wanting to take somebody's idea and you're the coach? Coach Joe John, a lot of coaches, a lot of people do these kind of things. And I can understand people's apprehensions and fears, but you're going to have to really step in here, lean in and get the legal aspects of your business grounded first before you go out here building this third floor, this fifth floor, putting all this money into ads and so forth, and you haven't gotten your legal infrastructure in place.
That's good. That's good. Folks, make sure you get your legal infrastructure in place. And you need to go to fredjoneslaw.com. That's the first step of this journey right here. Today, we're talking about intellectual property, protecting intellect of the mind, right? Of the mind, not the hand. That's what you said right there. Intellectual mind, property of the mind, not the hand.
Out of the hands.
Property of the mind, not of the hands. Man, I love that. We're currently 48 minutes after the hour. We're about to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back here with more Speaker Success in the Morning. If you have not gone ahead and hit the thumbs up to like that video, go ahead and do that right now. And then if during this commercial break, you're like, I'm hearing this intellectual property conversation for the first time, I want to learn more, go to fredjoneslaw.com. That's where you can get started. We'll be right back with more Speaker Success after this. Are you a new or budding entrepreneur looking to set your business up for success? Profit Mode is here to help you navigate your entrepreneurial journey with expert education and services. From tax planning and bookkeeping to selecting the right business structure, Profit Mode has you covered. They'll even educate you on how to properly set up your business for building credit so you can grow with confidence. Profit Mode's mission is to provide you with the tools and guidance you need to establish a solid foundation for your business. Whether you're just getting started or you're ready to take the next step, we're here to support your goals. Let Profit Mode help you turn that entrepreneurial dream into a reality with the knowledge and services to back it up. Your success starts with the right foundation. Contact Profit Mode today to get started. All right, family, welcome back. Welcome back to Speaker Success in the Morning, currently 49 minutes after the hour. Dad, we're just going to go ahead and roll into it here. We're going to go ahead and just roll into the final thought for the day. And I want to hand it to you. I want to hand you the mic and allow you to share the final thought. This could be related to what we've been talking about with intellectual property, or this could be just something that, you know, the good Lord has put on your heart for you to share with the successors here over at Speaker Success in the Morning. Dad, so do you? You got a final thought for the people this morning, and take your time, like they say in the church, in the old church. Take your time, let him use you.
I'll do that, John. And the final thought today is find somebody you want to be like and follow them. So many times we try to go somewhere and we don't really have a blueprint. I remember I was in high school, college, right out of college. And I wanted a mentor, somebody that could guide me and help me. I was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I went to West Palm Beach, Florida, following this person. And I went out there. I needed a mentor. I needed somebody to help me. And I got a little time with this person. I got some time, but it didn't quite pan out the way I wanted to. And I kept going. And I've kept looking for somebody to follow, Luke 6:38-39-40 says, if the blind lead the blind, they both will fall into the ditch. But a pupil, after he's been fully trained, will look like the teacher. Well, John, I want to say this. You are a teacher. You are a coach. You are a mentor. And you are a masterful husband and father. And I want to encourage those who are listening and watching, if you're looking for somebody who has blended family life and business life and who have learned how to build a platform from no complaint campaign all the way to a TEDx speaker 2 times, a best-selling author, a highly paid coach, a sought-after mentor in the area of podcasting, well, look no further than Speak Your Success host Jonathan Jones. My thoughts are, and this is not because you're my son, it's because you got receipts for all of this. You got receipts. You started your coaching journey in high school. I remember you told me, Dad, you wanted to hire a basketball coach. That was the 10th, 11th grade, or it might even been the 9th. I don't know. But it was somewhere in high school there. And you went out and you hired a coach. Listen, John, you also, when you wanted to write your book, you hired me. You see, you ain't new to this. You're true to this. I know you are a high ticket coach. I know you can deliver. You have walked the walk and you're talking the talk now. And people look at where you are today and they like, wow, wow. I was talking to someone yesterday. You will know this person if I call their name. They called me up yesterday and they're in West Virginia Beach, some area up there. And they mentioned you. They said, John, I see what he's doing. I follow him on his podcast. And he said, wow, John got ahead of this thing before it ever became a thing. He said, I'm so excited about what John is doing. And I just look up to him with such a high level of respect. So people are watching you, and they are watching you more than you realize. And I know that there are those of you who are listening to this broadcast right now, and you're like, man, I need somebody to follow, somebody to be like. Well, I want to encourage you to be like Jonathan. Go get out here and find your lane, find your passion, or let it find you, and then be consistent and stay with it and don't quit. So many times people want something, but they don't want it bad enough. You got to figure out what is it that you want, what is it that you're after, and begin to build it and find somebody who can help you get there. And Jonathan is somebody who can help you get there. And I want you to always remember this. Ain't never been there, can't tell going there how to get there. One more time, for those who are in the back of the room or doing something else, you got distracted. Maybe you got distracted when I said that. Ain't never been there, cannot tell going there how the heck to get there. You can't tell somebody how to do something you haven't done. And John, this is another reason why I tell coaches all the time, you can't charge at a level you hadn't invested. I'm going to say that again. You can't charge at a level you hadn't invested. This guy here, he's invested at least tens and 15 or 20 or $30,000 in coaching. I know he's invested more than $10,000 in coaching. I know that. Okay. So he didn't invest in more than that in coaching, but he's also gotten paid real good too. So I want to encourage you to follow John. Stay on here. Watch him. I follow him. I listen to him. He was once working with me, and then he kind of fired himself. He said, Dad, I can't do it. He fired himself. You're like, I can't do this no more. My time is too important. My time is more valuable. I got to go build my own thing, And he went on off and started doing his own thing. And then now we're back here together, crunching it up, But John, I couldn't be more prouder of you and the work that you're doing. And I just want to encourage you to keep on going. Matter of fact, John, someone else called me from Atlanta and told me about you and this broadcast yesterday.
Really?
Somebody they watched our broadcast. They saw the numbers. They saw the Shador Prime Equity deal, and they said, I got to get in touch with you. And they called me about a legal matter out of Atlanta, Georgia, and mentioned you and I talking together on this podcast. So I'm proud of you, and I want to encourage the viewers and those that are watching to follow John. He's a great example and a great coach and a mentor to follow. If you can get on his calendar, get on his schedule, I want to encourage you to do that. John, those are my final words today.
Man, I appreciate those kind words coming from FredJonesLaw.com. FredJonesLaw.com. Appreciate those flowers there. That really means a lot. And yeah, man, it has been a journey. Just like you said, it has been a journey. And I have learned so much because I was on a podcast episode the other day. I believe I told you about it. And I just had the opportunity to share with people that I hired you as my first coach. And having that opportunity to hire you, not only did I really learn the process of launching the best-selling book, writing the best-selling book, publishing the best-selling book, but also it put us in a different space. Because when you pay somebody, parent, business owner, whoever, like you put them in a different place, right? Because if you were just say, oh, John, you want to write a book? Well, here's how you do it. Do this, do that, do this, do that. I can tell you I would not have valued that information. And I can also tell you I wouldn't have followed through with the process. No pun intended. But, having the opportunity to pay you and, really scrape to make that happen when I did, I'm grateful for it. I'm eternally grateful for it. So, Dad, thank you for coming on the broadcast. Thank you for doing life with me in this way. Because this really has been special. Me and you being able to share trade secrets. Me and you have both paid each other for coaching. And me and you also have, built things together, and we'll continue to build things together. Conferences, summits, different things like that in the future. So everybody who's listening, everybody who's tuned in, I would just encourage you that just like what my dad said, if you're somebody and you're looking to figure out what's your next step in this lane to expand your voice and to publish and promote yourself through the means of media and podcasting, then send me a DM over to Jonathan Jones Speaks on Instagram. Just at Jonathan Jones Speaks, and from there, then we can see where this conversation takes us. Because I want to invite you on a deep dive coaching session, and I want to be able to help you, really paint that vision and really show you what's possible. Right, Dad? Show what's possible. That show what's possible.
Always got to talk about what's possible. Always
All
take them
right.
to the next level. Always take them to the next level.
Yeah,
People
that's
pay
it right there.
they pay for, John.
Say that one more time, Dad.
People pay attention to what they pay for.
That's it. That's it. That's it. People pay attention to what they pay for, and when you pay the price, then you ultimately deserve to become the product that you become. Got to pay the price to become the product. Got to pay the price. Dad, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for rocking. Good people, go to fredjoneslaw.com if you're wanting to protect your intellectual property. This episode was brought to you by fredjoneslaw.com. Because at the end of the day, when we talk intellectual property, when we talk about protecting your livelihood, protecting your legacy, protecting the work of your mind, you got to go to fredjoneslaw.com so you can get the blueprint on what is next and how to do that. So your kids and your kids' kids and your kids' kids' kids will be able to thank you so much later down the road because of the decision you made today. FredJonesLaw.com, people. FredJonesLaw.com. Dad, thanks for hanging out on the show. We're about to go ahead and get out of here. I got to get ready to get this boy ready for school because yesterday was his first day. So we got to get ready to roll him out today for day 2. And then after that, I got to hit the highway, have a client that we're doing a podcast production setup for them. We doing a mastermind, a one-on-one immersive mastermind session today. So gonna make that happen.
Sounds like a VIP setting.
Oh yeah, that's definitely what it is. Definitely, that's what I was looking for. VIP. It's gonna be a VIP day. So
VIP private client.
Yeah, we're gonna make that happen.
Exclusive, proprietary setting.
That's it.
Have a great one. Enjoyed it. Peace.
Likewise. All right. Family. So that wraps up our episode today with attorney Fred Jones. And family, when I tell you that I seek out my father for legal advice, I would encourage you to do the same thing, right? FredJonesLaw.com. Because for me personally, I was like, Dad, hey, I got this contract. I need you to look at this for me. Hey, Dad, what about this? What about that? What's the best way for me to protect this? What's the best way for me to protect that? I would hit him up, ask him, and then he would help me there. So you should do the same thing. Go to FredJonesLaw.com. Family, this wraps up this episode of Speak Your Success in the Morning. We're here to encourage, empower, and also educate you here on this platform, live Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Central Standard to 7 a.m. Central Standard. And always remember, family, speak your success, believe in your greatness, and continue to create the life and business of your dreams. Why would you and why should you live any other way? Do you want to feel confident in your skin every day? Introducing Skin Rituals, a luxury home-based skin studio that specializes in hyperpigmentation, acne, and personalized treatments for every skin type. Owned by solo esthetician and registered nurse Courtney Durham, Skin Rituals is all about curating facial treatments designed just for you. Hydrate, brighten, nourish, and soothe your skin with expert care and cutting-edge techniques that promote natural healing. Whether you're looking for a relaxing facial or a transformative chemical peel, Skin Rituals offers results-driven treatment tailored to your needs. With over 7 years of experience, Courtney's goal is to help you safely achieve the healthy skin that you deserve. At Skin Rituals, we believe that taking care of your skin is an investment in your confidence. Book your appointment today and leave every session feeling grateful for the choice that you made to take care of yourself. Skin Rituals, because your skin deserves the very best.